I bought a lot of stuff. Too much stuff. Hello and welcome. My name's Hannah, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a full face of 17 makeup that has just come back to Boots here in the UK. This was a brand that was launched in the 60s and it went away for a bit, but it is back. It is all vegan and it is incredibly affordable. I bought a lot of stuff. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the video. Okay, so let's start with base products. The first thing I have to try out is the Base Glow Illuminating Primer. This is enhanced with matcha root extract to bring a natural luminosity to the skin while minimizing the appearance of pores, and it's got light pearls in it for a glowing, well moisturized finish. Okay, so it definitely looks very metallic. It's got a bit of pigment in there, so I'll just see how that blends out. Okay, so the pigment definitely blends out, which is great. Definitely is illuminating. I mean, you can see I am very glowy right now. Ignore the redness. That is just how my skin reacts when I touch it. Okay, so that is the illuminating base primer on my face. As I said, it is looking very, very glowy. It has added a nice bit of luminosity. I'm not sure how much it's done for the pores, to be completely honest, but it hasn't made them worse, so that's always a good thing. Next, I'm gonna go into foundation. So the foundation that I got is the Second Skin Enhancing Foundation. I got this in the very lightest shade, which is 001N. They also have a glowing CC cream in this line, but I decided to go for the full-on foundation. This says it is long-lasting, medium coverage for a natural, healthy looking base, and it is formulated with vitamin E and hyaluronic acid. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to blend one side in with a sponge. So I'm going to do this side with a sponge, and then I'm going to go in with a brush on the other side just to see what that looks like. So let's start with the sponge. I probably could have gone for the shade up, to be honest, but that's fine. So this is this side blended in with a sponge. I would say is probably more of a light to medium coverage, but as we are blending it in with the sponge, it is going to take a little bit of that pigment away. So we'll see what happens with the brush. It is a nice finish. You can see the luminosity of the primer coming through, but it hasn't added more glow than that. So I think without that primer, it would be more natural matte leaning, but it is looking nice. It definitely looks like skin. It doesn't look incredibly makeup-y, which I enjoy. So let's see what it looks like with the brush. You know, you can see with the brush that is actually coming across as a nice medium coverage. Yeah, I think I like that with the brush more because it gives it more of a true medium coverage, and again, it's looking really nice. It's not added extra luminosity on top of that base, which is great. It does look very natural. It does look very skin-like. I like this. If this lasts well throughout the day, I think this could be a really good foundation, and it's so cheap, which is great. Let's do a quick close-up if we can. So side blended in with the sponge, and the side blended in with the brush. Okay, next up I have the Second Skin Enhancing Concealer, and I got two shades. I got the shades 1N and 2N, and I'm just gonna swatch them on the back of my hand to see how light they are. It's always a good sign when I'm not the lightest shade in a foundation or concealer, because it means that they have a more decent range. Okay, so this one seems more pink, this one seems more yellow, but they are both supposed to be neutral. I might use this one under the eyes and this one on the face. And this concealer is £2. £2. This also is enhanced with a mineral mix complex. I'm not really sure what that means, but a mineral mix complex. Blends seamlessly for a velvety skin finish. So let's pop this on. It's quite light. I'm going to blend that in with my beauty sponge. So that's it blended out under the eyes, and it looks really nice. It isn't a full coverage, but it has got a nice amount of pigment. It did blend out quite nicely. Let's blend out concealer on the face. Now, I'm not a big fan of this for spot concealing. So that is the concealer all blended in. So far it's okay, but I am quite picky with my concealers. It does look like skin, it's not looking too makeup-y, it's not emphasizing too much. It is sinking into the lines a little bit, and it is a little thicker, which means it takes a little bit longer to blend out, but not too much longer. Not a big fan of it for spot concealing, as I said. So far it's okay. I like the foundation a lot more. Oh, my sponge is falling apart. How exciting. Okay, so I'm looking at the big box of stuff that I have. So I have some powders, I have some creams, I have blushes. Okay, so we have some creams, so I'm going to leave powder for now. I have what's the word I'm looking for? Powder blush in the shade Copper Tone. This is actually coming across more kind of bright pinky purple in person, whereas on the website it looks very, very copper. So I'm just gonna swatch this and see how I feel, because I might, grumbly. That's more of a berry tone than I would say a copper tone, to be completely honest. It's blending out quite nicely. It looks like it's got a bit of a sheen to it, which is quite nice. I also have some Colour Glow cream blushes. I have the shade Soft Peach, which I'll swatch on the back of my hand. Looks like this, and definitely does have a nice glow to it. And I also got Soft Pink in this formula as well. This is what Soft Pink looks like. I think I might put Soft Peach on the cheeks today, and then maybe I can add some of the powder blush afterwards just to see how that looks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to grab a stippled blush brush. This is the Katie Jane Hughes one, and just dip in to the blush and then go onto the cheek. Yeah, that's really nice. That almost looks very natural. It almost looks watercolorish on the skin, which is really, really nice. It's got a nice glow to it, which is why it's called a glow blush, I presume, but it looks really nice. Does leave behind a bit of a stain, something to note. So, two things getting up close and personal with the mirror. Number one, I do think it has lifted the foundation slightly, that blush, and two, the concealer is definitely creasing. And it is actually emphasizing some of the texture in the inner corner of my eye here. So it's not my favorite, that concealer, but I do really, really like the foundation. I think that looks really, really nice. And the blush color does look very, very pretty. It is just, maybe I used too much. To be fair, I did use quite a lot. I think it's a bit of a learning curve with that. I'm gonna put powder on next because the concealer is just creasing like mad. This is the Ultimate Look finishing powder in the shade 10. This says it is a high coverage powder for a flawless complexion, complemented by vitamin E and sweet almond oil. I'm just going to pop this under the eyes, tap out the creases. That is blurring, that is nice, and it is adding some coverage. Has definitely set the under eyes down quite nicely. I like that powder, that one's very nice. I also picked up the Perfecting Finish Translucent Powder. This is a super flattering, silky finishing powder which easily sets makeup in place whilst giving your complexion the glow it deserves. I am just going to put this all over the face. That has set everything down. It's not left the skin too powdery, although it does look a tiny bit powdery here on my forehead. I can definitely see that the blush has taken off some of the foundation, but it is looking quite nice, that powder. I think especially once we put some setting spray on that, that'll look quite nice. Next up, I'm gonna put on this Glow and Define bronzer. Again, this is in the lightest shade, number 10. This is apparently a soft touch bronzer boosted by sweet almond oil and super reflecting pearl pigments that give a fresh beach glow. So I'm just gonna grab my usual brush and put this onto the skin. I like that bronzer. That is really nice. It's not too pigmented, so you can definitely build it up to the intensity that you want. I like that. I think that is really nice. I will continue to use that. Let's go on top of this cream blush with the powder blush. As I said, this is in the shade Copper Tone. Yeah, it's definitely got some pigment to it. It is blending out very nicely. It's got a lot of pigment to it. Yeah, do you know what? I like that. I really like that formula. I am just going to tone that down a tiny bit with my beauty sponge. And then I am going to move on to highlighter. So I've got 3 different highlighters. I got the Lights On highlighter powder in the shade Champagne. And I'm just gonna swatch that on the back of my hand to show you what it looks like. Which is quite goldy looking. Then I also got 2 of their liquid highlighters. I got the shade Champagne again and the shade Rose. So let's pop these on the back of my hand and compare. Again, this looks quite gold rather than champagne. So if I just put them on the back of my hand, feels like it is blending out nicely, but yeah, it is more of a gold than a champagne. So it's probably gonna be too dark on me, unfortunately. And this one is Rose. Ooh, that is very metallic. Yeah, Rose seems to be a lot more metallic and a bit icy compared to Champagne. So I think I'm going to put Rose on just because the other 2 look like they're going to be too dark for me. So I'm just going to put a bit on my hand and then blend this out on the cheek with my fingers. There it is, blended out on the skin. It did blend out really nicely. There are some larger chunks of glitter in there. It's definitely not just a smooth highlight, but it is very metallic. Don't think it's my kind of thing, but as I said, it blended out nicely and it is looking very reflective, but the big chunks of glitter just kind of put me off. So that's all the face products that I had. What I'm gonna do now is eyebrows, I think. So I got the full definition brow pencil in the shade Blonde Ash, and then I also got the brow and lash lamination clear mascara, and I got the precise definition tinted gel in the shade Blonde. So I think what I'm gonna do is on one eye use the pencil and the clear gel and use the tinted gel on the other side. So let's start with the pencil. We'll do it on this side. Probably could have gone for ash brown. To be fair, that is coming off quite warm toned, which is not my favorite. Yeah, for something that has ash in the name, it is very, very warm. I do not think that is my color at all. This is way too warm. Application was nice though. It did create nice strokes on the brow, but yeah, that color, not for me. This is the clear brow lamination gel, by the way, and it has a lot of product that comes off on the one, so I'm just tapping off the excess there. It's looking a little bit gluey up here. We'll wait for that to dry. And while that's drying, I am going to go in with the precise definition tinted gel in the shade Blonde and hope it is not as warm as the brow pencil. Okay, so this is a better color. This is definitely more cool toned than the pencil. So that's a much better color. It has deposited a lot of color on the brow. It is holding it in place really nicely. I have has this one really weird hair right there that never wants to stay down. It is much better than this side. I'm not a big fan. The clear gel has dried down here, but it has made the brow just look really wet. Do you know what? I think I'm gonna have to wipe this one off and just put the gel on both, to be honest, because I'm not enjoying this. Okay, much better. Yeah, that is much better. I am gonna move on to eyes next. So let's grab all the bits and bobs. Before we do eyes, actually, I'm just gonna pop a bit of this Dewy Prep setting spray on. This is a super lightweight glow setting spray that is infused with coconut water. Okay, there we are. A little bit of an aggressive spray. And it does smell, what does it smell like? Definitely smells fruity. Yeah, it's got perfume in here, so if you do have sensitive skin, this might not be the best for you. Just gonna let that dry down. It has left a nice glow on top, very subtle, and the, what's it called? Setting powder is looking really nice with this on top. So for eyes, I got 3 different palettes. Unfortunately, this one is shattered in the post, so I'm gonna have to get a new one. This is the shade Browns. This is the glitter palette, and this is the golden palette. I also picked up one of their shadow pops in the shade Rose Gold, and I got their eye primer. So I'm gonna pop the eye primer on, and then we'll have a think about what we wanna do on the eyes. The eye primer is non-greasy, super mattifying. It's blending out very nicely. And this eye does feel very matte, which is great. It's what you want for an eyeshadow primer. I'm gonna swatch this Rose Gold Shadow Pop first, because this does look very pretty. Yeah, that is very pretty. I might put that on the inner corner, because I'm going to try and find a place for it. But I think what I'm going to do first is go into the golden palette and just use some of these neutrals for the crease and the outer corner. And I might actually do a halo eye with one of the glitters. I'm just going to go in with this middle shade here. It's quite nice and pigmented. Seems to be blending out nicely. Then I'm just gonna go in with this shade here to deepen up the crease. Not a lot of fallout, which is good. Then I'm going to grab this more densely packed brush and just go with this deepest color here on the outer and inner corners. There is a lot of kickback on these, but I don't mind that. Okay, I think that's where I want it to be. I'm just going to swatch a couple of the shimmers in this palette on the back of my hand, because we're not going to be using them today. They look really nice. They look nice. They look quite glittery. This one in particular looks quite glittery rather than metallic. And let's go into the glitters palette, and I'm gonna take this shade here with my finger and pop that on the middle of the lid. Oh wow. Oh, that's very pretty. Wow, I really like that. Now getting a bit of fallout, but it's glitter, what you expect. Yeah, do the glitters before the rest of your face, and if you can, use a glitter glue, but that looks gorgeous. They're really nice. I really like that eyeshadow formula. These are only £5, these palettes, which is fantastic. They do a couple of other colors as well. I'm a bit disappointed about the brown one, but I will get a replacement sent over. I'm just gonna put some colors under the eyes, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am just gonna pop some of this Rose Gold Shadow Pop on the inside corner, because I would like to use it. Oh, that's nice. That's really metallic. That's really nice. Probably can't tell much of a difference, but it is very nice. Those are the eyeshadow palettes. These are a real winner. I also picked up this Eyeflix pen in the shade Black. This is a quick drying intense black eyeliner, water-based for a subtle but long-lasting silky sheen finish. This is what the tip looks like, so it's a felt tip liner, and that is what it looks like. So let's attempt to do a wing liner. Okay, so that's what the eyeliner looks like. It's quite nice. It does draw a nice thin line. It's nice and black. It seems to be drying down quite nicely. It's quite easy to use. It's a decent liner. And then the other thing that I picked up for the eyes is the Ultimate Lasting Curl Mascara, which comes in this yellow tube and it looks like this. So it's got the curved wand here. And I'm just gonna put that on now. Quite a spiky wand. I'm not sure how much it's done for curl. I mean, it's quite lightweight. It's not doing anything for volume, which I didn't really expect it to anyway, to be fair, because it's not a volumizing mascara. They do have a volumizing mascara. But let's put a second coat on and just see what that looks like. Second coat does look nice. It is lengthening, which is nice. I think it is doing a little bit for the curl. It is separating the lashes really nicely. I think that looks quite nice. I mean, you can't really tell because I'm wearing black eyeliner. I'm gonna put bottom lashes on. Okay, so that's the lashes. They look nice. They look much more natural than something like a volumizing mascara, but that's what I enjoy. So I think that's looking very nice. I think what I'm also gonna do, because I'm not enjoying how cool toned the highlighter is compared to the eyes, I'm going to put some of this champagne powder highlighter on just to see how that applies. It was quite gold on the back of my hand, so we'll have to see how that looks. But I just want to warm it up a bit. That's better. It is nice and smooth actually, this one. The powder does seem a lot smoother with no big chunky bits in it. It's coming across as gold on the skin, but it's not really leaving a cast on my face when I look forwards, which is good because I thought it would probably be a bit too dark, but it does blend out quite nicely. So finally, I bought a whole bunch of lip products and I'll just show you what I have. Okay, so I picked up the Lip Define Pencil Liner in Dusty Peach. I picked up their Lacquer Gloss. This is in the shade Caramel. I also picked up one of their High Shine Lip Crayons in the shade Toffee Peach. And then I also picked up a matte lipstick in the shade Blushing Nude. This is apparently a velvet matte, which is very, very nice because we don't want something that's too drying. I'm just gonna wipe off what I have on at the moment. Let's put on the gloss to see what that looks like. We'll try everything on and then we'll decide what lip product we actually want to wear for the rest of the day. So, oh, this has got one of those cool like hourglass wands with a bit of a flat bit at the top, which is quite unusual. I'm not getting a huge amount off on the wand, so having to dip in a few times. So that is what the gloss looks like. It's a very thick, sticky gloss, which I actually quite like because it means that it's not really going to move around the face too much, especially if you're wearing a mask. It feels comfortable. Nice colour. I really like that. Actually, I really like that. Let's put on the High Shine Lip Crayon. As I said, this is in the shade Toffee Peach. And this is what it looks like. It smells good. It does smell like peach. That is Toffee Peach. I like this colour. Again, it feels very comfortable. It's glided on really, really nicely. It doesn't feel like it's going to slide around too much. Yeah, that's nice. That is not going to last a long time. Yeah, a lot of transfer. But that's not what it's intended to do. And I like this. This is a nice kind of shove in your purse sort of lip product where you can touch up throughout the day and it just gives you a little bit of shine, a little bit of colour, something nice, natural for the everyday. Let's do the lip pencil and matte lipstick. So as I said, this is in the shade Dusty Peach and it is a pencil. That's what it looks like on the back of the hand. Got a good amount of pigment, very creamy. That is the lip liner. This is very nice. It went on really, really, really nicely. I like that, and I like this color. It's quite nice, it's summery, go really well with that peach blush. And then this is the matte lipstick in the shade Blushing Nude. So that's what it looks like on the back of my hand. This definitely does feel quite velvety. It's not emphasizing my lines too much. Let's just give it a second to dry down. Yeah, again, not incredibly transfer proof, but not what it's claiming to be, so that's fine. I think the thing that I liked the most was the lip lacquer, so I'm gonna put that on. So let's give it one final spritz of the Dewy Prep setting spray. Okay, so this is my full face of 17 makeup. I think it looks quite nice. There are definitely some hits and some misses. So I'm just gonna give you a quick roundup of everything that I tried and let you know my final thoughts. Base Glow Illuminating Primer, I liked this. It definitely added a shine to the base of my makeup without emphasizing too much texture. So I did really like this. The Second Skin Enhancing Foundation, I really liked this. This is a natural matte finish. It is a medium coverage if you apply it with a brush. The Second Skin Enhancing Concealer, this is not my favorite. These creased so quickly under the eyes. They did have a nice natural finish to them, but also I just don't think it's enough coverage for me. The Colour Glow Cream Blushes, these looked so pretty on the skin. I thought they looked really natural, very watercolorish, but as I said, I think because they are quite liquidy, they did pull up a bit of the foundation underneath. I'm not sure that's, you know, the product's fault. I think it might have been my fault. I think I put quite a lot onto the skin. I also used a brush, so maybe it's better to use it with a sponge instead and stamp it into the skin. I loved the way that it looked, so I think I'm gonna keep playing with these because I really want them to work because they just look so pretty. The Glow and Define Bronzer, I really liked this. It looked really natural. It built up really well. It wasn't too pigmented when you put it on. It blended out really well. I thought this was fantastic. The Powder Blush in Copper Tone, this again also blended out really nicely. I think the powders were definitely a win from this line. I really liked the way this blended out. The only problem I have with this is not the shade on the website. So on the website it looks very copper, and in person it is just a straight berry. And I like it, it's a nice color, but this might be one that you go into the store to see what it looks like in person, because this is not the color that it was on the website. The Ultimate Look Finishing Powder, this was really, really nice. It definitely was soft and silky, as it says on the back. It set my makeup down, and it did have actually quite a good amount of coverage under the eyes, so I really like this. We'll be using it again. The Perfecting Finish Translucent Powder, again, this was very nice, soft, silky. It set down the makeup. It did look a tiny bit powdery, but once I put setting spray on top, it kind of eliminated that. This, again, I will be using more. The liquid highlighters, I think, are a pass for me. They are just too glittery on the skin. They're very metallic, they're very reflective, and if you do like more of a chunky, glittery highlight, I think you would like them. They definitely blend it out really well, and they definitely are very reflective. I did really like this Lights On highlighter powder. This is in the shade Champagne. I think they only have 3 shades in this, which is a bit disappointing because I liked the formula. It was very smooth. It was a little bit more natural than the liquid highlighters, and it wasn't as glittery, but this is quite gold and I don't see myself using it as much. The eye primer, I really enjoyed this. It had a really nice texture. It did mattify the lid, which means you're not going to get any oils coming through and destroying your eye makeup. It had a really nice kind of strange whipped texture. I did really enjoy this eye primer. The eyeshadows, although I am disappointed that one of them broke, I think these are the real star of the show. They were very nicely pigmented. They blended out really, really easily. This glitter palette also really, really pretty, but I would recommend using the glitters in particular before you put on your base makeup, and I would try it with a glitter primer as well, just so it sticks in place and you get less of that fallout. There is a lot of kickback on the powders themselves. They are quite powdery, but I don't mind that, and I think they perform so nicely that it doesn't even matter for me. So these are, I think, the winner from this entire full face. The eyeliner, it gave a nice thin line, applied really nicely. It is nice and black, has dried down. It's good. It's a good eyeliner. It's not my favorite eyeliner, but it's definitely a good eyeliner. The mascara, looking up close, actually is really nice. It's separated the lashes, it's lengthened them. So actually I really enjoyed this one. Oh, and this shadow pop, also really nice. Same sort of formula, very reflective. I will definitely be using this one again. Eyebrows. This eyebrow pencil is an absolute no. It is just way too warm toned, even though it says ash blonde. Although it did apply quite nicely, I just don't think it's good enough for me to repurchase in a different color. The Brown Lash Lamination Clear Mascara, this just had way too much product on the wand when you took it out, and it just made my lashes look wet and sticky. So this was not my favorite either. I really enjoyed the Precise Definition Tinted Gel. This is in the shade Blonde. It's a much cooler toned color, much more flattering. The lashes do the brows feel like they're not going to go anywhere, and it deposited a really nice amount of color, so I think I'll be using that one again as well. The Dewy Prep Setting Spray. This has, like a lot of drugstore sprays, a very aggressive spray, and the scent is kind of off-putting for me. I do have quite sensitive skin, so I probably won't be using this one again. It did look really nice, and if the scent doesn't really put you off, then I would give it a go, but I don't think I'll be using this one again. And then the lip stuff. I really enjoyed all of these. So that is everything from me today. If you liked this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. If you liked me and you want to see more videos from me, then please do hit the subscribe button down below. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.